forgotten that fluoride was in our water. A lot of people didn't even know about it. A lot of people had no idea they were drinking it every day. There's this major war going on in Northern Ireland about it. Whilst the Troubles were going on, I mean, interestingly, it's the one thing that brought all parties together. They all agreed, no way, we're not taking this. And of course now Declan has shown us the cancer maps, the Irish cancer maps. I mean, we have much, much higher cancer mortality in the south than the north. It's really disturbing to see. You can literally see along the border in Northern Ireland, you can see the cancer rates dramatically increasing as soon as you go to the border. And 18 different cancers. And actually that information, the expert body has tried to dismiss that information, but it comes from the government who's that's from a government study. That we have that mortality. I mean, we have the highest disease burdens in Europe in most diseases, and there's no doubt that fluoride is implicated, because it is implicated in all these diseases. Anyway, so Northern Ireland successfully booted the fluoridation in the south, and it took a lot. And there was a company called Shorts. Thanks, Ash. I won't waffle on that, of course. There was a company called Shorts, which are an aerospace a company that makes airplanes and stuff like that. Very, very important to the economy. And they threatened, when they found out about it, they actually threatened to withdraw from Northern Ireland, because the fluoride ion binds with heavy metals, and they were welding underwater. And they would have literally had to put a massive RO filter, they would have had to become a water treatment plant before they could go on making their machinery, because they have to weld underwater. Everything would have just it would have bound the aluminium of the airplane wings, and welding wouldn't have happened. So that really swung it in the north as well. But they are constantly trying to bring it back in the north. In the mid, again, in around 2006, I think it was Paisley, and there was a huge, again, furore around 2006 in Northern Ireland. With it was big news that they were all joining together. They're all writing all the signatories. There were lots of signatories on this letter from across all the political parties. We never heard about it. It was very big news, and it was suppressed here. Just to go on, in 2006, again, John Gormley, 2006-2007, as the Greens got some power, they tried to tackle it. And John Gormley wrote an absolutely brilliant report. I mean, it's 80 pages long. It's one of the best and most concise reports written about summarising all the problems with fluoride. And he wrote that as part of a government committee. He was, commissioned to write that, and that was suppressed. That was actually suppressed as well. One of the worst examples of real skullduggery and fraudulence, scientific fraudulence and deceit, hiding of information, it has to do with the Food Safety Authority of Ireland. Now that group, that group should just be run out of town, because they are not doing their job. And far from, they're not just not doing their job, they're absolute propagandists. They're apologists for fluoride, and they are forcing it down our necks just as much as the expert body on fluorides and health are. And I really look to the FSAI. I really recommend that everybody goes and clicks on and has a look at who's in the FSAI. Get their faces and get their names. Start contacting them and telling them you know what they're doing. Because, okay, here's what they've done. In 2001, as part of the Forum on Fluoridation, the FSAI became alarmed, because since the mid-90s there had been an increasing amount of scientific information showing that infants, especially infants under 4 months who were being bottle-fed, were being massively and dangerously overexposed to fluoride. There's hard, irrefutable evidence for that. In fact, they're getting 7 times the safe limit. Now, we're having an explosion in the population of ADHD, autism. I myself have got an autistic son with very bad dental fluorosis. I've only begun talking about that because I didn't want people to think I had some kind of axe to grind. But I have no doubt that his autism has been at least exacerbated by the fluoride he's come in contact with. So in 2001, one group of people in the Food Safety Authority of Ireland actually took this on, and they investigated babies drinking fluoridated formula milk. And they came to their report stated, which they handed into the Forum on Fluoridation, their 25-page report said it is unsafe for babies to be drinking formula made with fluoridated tap water. Now in Ireland, 97% of babies by the age of 6 months are on bottle feeds. Now this is an appalling situation. It really is. It's the worst, it's the most disturbing thing I've come across in the fluoride debate. They handed out information up to the Forum on Fluoridation, and it was just suppressed. That report was just taken out. They had secret meetings. They got rid of they got rid of minutes from meetings. All sorts of shady shenanigans. This was only discovered in 2003 through the work of Don McCauley through Freedom of Information. So, they have known since 2001, absolutely definitively, that Irish babies on a mass scale are being poisoned. And they're doing nothing about it. They think it's okay to just, they're so concerned about having to save face because many of the dentists involved in promoting word fluoridation have been doing it for 40 years. They don't want to admit that they were wrong. They don't, if you follow the money on this, and you have to do that, they are getting a lot of money in, for Irish taxpayers' money, in research grants to the effectiveness of fluoride for the teeth. We are actually paying them to be in their position, to tell us that everything's fine, and to tell us that the huge numbers of reports showing that it's dangerous are wrong. This is the kind of crap that's going on. So really, I think, I won't go on for much longer. I think you can get very alarmed at what you're up against with this, because you really are up against major power. But there's not very many people. The actual pro-fluoridations lobby in number are very small. They're only a small number of people, but they're all involved. They're very incestuous, and they have a lot of institutional power. But there's very, very few of them, and we are trying to shine the light on them and name them, and that's what we need to start doing. So that they try to hide. The way they operate is they try and keep everything oh no, the public. We don't need a public debate on this. We've got committees on this. We've got the expert body on this. Bureaucrats and technocrats. This is their job to deal with. They're not dealing with it. We have to take it on. It should be their job, but they're not doing it. But they hide, and we have to not let them hide. We have to shine a light on them. And I really urge you all to try and support operas in continuing to keep the spotlight on them, and don't let them just go into little, reptiles under their stones. So keep on buying the magazine every 2 weeks. Fair play to Niall Stokes, the editor. He's coming under a lot of pressure to stop this, and he hasn't succumbed. The other thing is, we have, they're up against a lot in this country. Just to say, I've actually just been speaking, the next issue of Hoppers that's coming out in 2 days actually takes us out of Ireland and looks at Ireland from outside Ireland through the eyes of campaigners in Canada and the States. And we are being carefully watched. We are the main battleground in the world at the moment for fluoride. And everybody's watching us, both the pro-fluoridationists and the safe water people. And they're very excited by the campaign that's happening in Ireland, and we all should be, everybody here should be. There's so many people for decades have been trying to stop this, and I'm only communicating what they are telling me and what I'm hearing from the current campaign. But the current campaign is very exciting because, of course, we have the help now of the internet, and they can't just dismiss us as a bunch of wackos, because all anybody has to do is click on and read for 10 minutes, and they'll be, oh shit, this is actually alarming, this is disturbing. But the Girl Against Fluoride campaign is amazing, and fair play to Aisling and her mum, and everybody involved in that team. And the one thing, I was talking to Michael Connaught, who runs Fluoride Alert, the Fluoride Action, what is it again? Fluoride Action Network in the States. And he was just saying, this campaign is so exciting because it's sexy. It's just sexy, basically. That's the bottom line. It's fun. You see people parading up and down Grafton Street half naked in the sunshine, all smiling and laughing in their bikinis. The expert body on fluorides and health, the dentists, Dennis O'Mullane and Joe Mullins, they don't have a chance against that. They may have all the power, but they don't have a chance in PR terms. So this is a PR campaign, and we can win the PR campaign, and that is the only thing that will win it. Because I tell you, the institutional stubbornness about this is full on. All the authorities are in denial. They just don't want to take responsibility for this. I think they're crazy, because if I was Minister Alex White, I'd go, oh Jesus, this is getting the